There comes a point in life where exhaustion hits differently. Not the kind that comes from work or lack of sleep, but the kind that settles deep in your soul. You get tired of explaining yourself to people who never cared to understand. Tired of fighting battles that only left you empty. Tired of carrying burdens that were never yours to hold. In that still moment, when the noise of the world feels overwhelming and the weight of it all presses down, something inside you shifts. You begin to understand that not everything deserves your reaction. You don't have to meet every insult with a response, every betrayal with anger, or every judgment with explanation. You can train your mind to remain at peace, not because you've gone cold, but because you've found freedom. Freedom from the opinions of people who don't know your path. Freedom from the expectations that never aligned with your truth. Real strength isn't loud or aggressive, it's quiet, composed, and unshaken. True power shows up in your ability to remain still when everything around you is spinning. That's growth. That's healing. You must protect your peace like it's sacred, because it is. You must fight for it, not with fists, but with restraint, with wisdom, with self-control. The most powerful person is not the one who speaks the loudest, but the one who can walk through chaos without losing their balance. So many people live in constant reaction. Reacting to disrespect, reacting to opinions, reacting to silence, reacting to anything that pokes at their pride. But at some point, if you want to evolve, you have to stop reacting and start mastering. Mastering your emotions doesn't mean suppressing them. It means feeling them fully and choosing how you express them. It means selecting calm when chaos begs for your attention. Think of emotional discipline like taming a wild beast. Initially, it fights, it resists, it lashes out. But with patience and strength, that wildness becomes something powerful and controlled. Every moment you're triggered is not a sign of weakness, but an opening to grow stronger. In that instant, you have a choice: to act from a place of pain or from a place of wisdom. Your response in that moment defines your power. People who try to provoke you are looking for your reaction. It fuels them. But when you choose silence, when you pause, when you stay still, you take away their control. You win the moment without lifting a finger. Control isn't loud, it's composed, centered, steady. That's what emotional discipline is. It separates those who drift through life from those who move with purpose. Society celebrates quick comebacks, fast reactions, the appearance of strength. But real strength lives in patience, in knowing when to speak and when to stay silent. It's the ability to hold back, to wait, to stay rooted, even when storms rage around you. It's like standing in the middle of a downpour and remaining dry. Not because the storm isn't real, but because you've prepared for it. You've endured worse. When someone tries to provoke you, the impulse to lash out can be strong. It may even feel satisfying for a brief moment. But what feels good in the moment often leaves a void. Growth is when you can face that same fire and not get burned. When you can acknowledge the heat, but choose not to get consumed by it. Emotional discipline isn't about being unaffected. It's about being intentional. It's knowing when to engage, when to walk away, and when to simply observe. Not everything needs your energy. Some things are so far beneath where you are now that they don't even register. As you rise, the noise fades. Life and people will continue to test you. They'll send insults masked as jokes, betray you with smiles, and disappoint you with expectations you never agreed to. But how you respond, that's the truest reflection of who you are becoming. Discipline of the heart isn't forged in comfort. It's formed in pressure, in heat, in conflict. It's easy to stay centered when everything's going right. The real test comes when everything is wrong. Can you stay grounded? Can you keep your peace when your name is being dragged and the world expects you to crack? They want a show. They want your reaction. But when you choose not to give it to them, when you remain calm and rise above, you leave them confused. You reclaim your strength in silence. That's what emotional discipline gives you. It makes you untouchable. And with every step forward, with every level you rise, you'll find yourself choosing peace more often. Not because you're indifferent, but because you finally understand your value. You know your energy is too valuable to waste on chaos. So you guard it, not out of fear, but out of love for the person you've worked so hard to become. There's a quiet kind of strength in allowing yourself to feel anger without letting it control your actions, in recognizing your hurt without letting it define who you are. You can feel the weight of frustration and still respond with clarity. You can carry disappointment and still move with grace. That's not weakness, it's wisdom in motion. But you don't arrive there overnight. It takes self-awareness. It takes humility. It takes the honest desire to stop giving your emotional energy to every bit of chaos that knocks on your door. Emotional discipline teaches you to pause before reacting and ask, is this really worth disturbing my peace? Is this worth stepping out of character for? Most of the time the answer is no, because so often what provokes you isn't about you at all. It's someone else's pain, their insecurity, their unresolved mess. Once you see that clearly, it loses its grip on you. That's the turning point. That's when you stop dancing to the tune of someone else's dysfunction. You stop letting small minds drag you into pointless conflict. You become a steady presence, grounded and focused, with no time or energy to waste on arguments that lead nowhere. The beauty of emotional discipline lies in how it transforms pressure into growth. Every angry message you don't reply to, every insult you let float past, every shady remark you ignore becomes a moment where you chose power over pettiness. It's your way of saying, I don't need to prove myself to people who can't see my worth. And the more you choose that path, the more natural it becomes. You begin to realize peace isn't just something that falls into place. It's something you work for, day in and day out. Every choice matters. React or respond, retaliate or rise. And with each choice to rise, you teach yourself who's really in control. Not your anger, not your ego, not your pain. You. That's the kind of control no one else can touch. It lets you walk through disrespect, not because you didn't notice it, but because you've grown beyond the need to react. Your peace becomes more valuable than your pride. That's how warriors are built, not through constant battle, but through quiet understanding. As you build emotional discipline, you start to see the truth behind people's words. You catch the manipulation that comes dressed as care, the jealousy hiding inside compliments. And instead of confronting it all, you observe, you process. You step back in silence with self-respect because you no longer feel responsible for fixing or proving anything. You understand now, validation from the wrong people isn't worth chasing. Your calm becomes your protection. Your silence becomes your message. Your discipline becomes your strength. This kind of mastery doesn't make you flawless. It makes you resilient. It means you faced your pain, felt the weight of it, cried the silent tears, and still found your balance. Not because life became easier, but because you became stronger. Stronger than the noise, stronger than the past, stronger than the need to constantly be understood. And with that strength comes clarity. The more you stay anchored in it, the more you attract things that align with your peace. The noise fades. The nonsense disappears. All that's left is focus. Emotional discipline isn't about pretending not to feel. It's about learning how to express those feelings in ways that build rather than break. It's a daily commitment to your own growth. Each day you decide, I won't let the outside world disturb my inner peace. It's not a one-time choice. It's a mindset, a way of being. And yes, you'll have moments where emotion flares, where pride wants to take over. But that's okay. Growth isn't perfection. It's awareness. And every time you choose composure over chaos, you strengthen your core. You become less shaken. You stop being tossed around by emotional storms and start standing firm. That's how real transformation begins, because the person who has control over their emotions has control over their life. They enter every room with calm confidence. They face challenges with clarity. They love deeply without losing themselves. That's the goal, to remain unbothered, not by closing your heart, but by elevating your perspective. Most people spend their energy on things that don't deserve it. They give away their focus to temporary problems, to opinions that won't matter in a week, to people who haven't earned their time. But something shifts the moment you start choosing where your energy goes. You realize it's not unlimited. It's your most valuable currency. Spend it wisely. Would you give away all your money to someone who doesn't appreciate it? Of course not. So why give away your peace, your focus, your strength to people and situations that haven't earned it? It's time to protect your energy the same way you protect your biggest dreams. You can't grow, heal, or truly win if your energy is constantly being drained by chaos, by arguments you don't need to have, by people who thrive on drama, by situations that rob your joy and leave you feeling empty. This is where awareness becomes essential. You have to start asking yourself, is this worth my energy? Is this helping me evolve, or just dragging me back into cycles I've outgrown? Your future is shaped by how you answer those questions. There's a big difference between reacting and responding. A reaction is immediate, emotional, and often reckless. A response is thoughtful, intentional, and rooted in self-control. If someone disrespects you and you snap back without thinking, you've handed over your energy on their terms. You've let their chaos dictate your state. But when you pause, breathe, and choose peace over pettiness, you regain your power. Power over your emotions, your space, your life. Understanding what deserves your energy also means recognizing what doesn't. Not every comment requires a reply. Not every situation needs your involvement. Some things are best left unaddressed. Some people are best kept at a distance. Not everything that demands your attention deserves it. People will try to pull you into their storms, their drama, their dysfunction. But it's your responsibility to stay centered. That isn't selfish. That's wisdom. If something costs you your peace, it's already too expensive. If it drains you more than it develops you, it's not a worthwhile investment. It's a loss. And you've got to stop treating losses like obligations. Think about how often you feel tired, not physically, but emotionally.
Let's keep on learning. Let's keep on practicing. Let's never stop. Let's never give up.